All right. Every day I turn on the computer, go to homepage, which apparently is a Microsoft. Look here in the corner. It's a Microsoft homepage. And every day there's dozens of unhinged anti-Trump articles. And sometimes I guess to show that they're, balanced, they put some Republican, Fox News and things like that. So let's look at this one. Trump's, quote, final battle rant contains, quote, terrifying message for evangelicals, according to an analyst, So let's go down and read this. And, of course, these Democrats are very anti-evangelical. So I'm going to read this from a perspective. I mean, it's absurd. It's actually offensive. Every year, I mean, it disturbs me. No, every election year, if you go to a bookstore and check out what's on the shelves, whenever there's an election coming up, Democrats rush books to the shelves to incite fear of the so-called religious right and Christian conservatives and evangelicals. So let's look at this, another fear-mongering and hate-mongering article. It's like, why do evangelicals vote for Donald Trump? Because we can read and we can see what you guys are doing. You're sick bastards that seek our harm. We can see this in these stories. We can think for ourselves. I mean, that's not how you conceive of us, but that's what we do. So according to MSNBC, which is a far-left Marxist outlet, analyst Sarah Posner, a Truth Social rant last week where Donald Trump promised to cast out the communist, Marxist, and fascist. Notice he's calling our opponents, the Democrat Party, fascist at best. So I believe that the Democrats are fascist. I mean, what is a Nazi? It's a National Socialist. What are they? What does Bernie Sanders claim to be? He's a National Socialist. So that's the same thing as a fascist. What are fascists? They're people that believe in a totalitarian police state that controls the economy, right? You suppose they have a free market economy, but it's controlled by the state. Fascist, a totalitarian state. Of course, it's also a police state. So it says, it's kind of funny. Employed coded language to his evangelical followers that their time is coming if he is reelected in 2024. Well, I do agree that cast out sounds kind of biblical, sort of, I guess. But they're probably reading too much into this. I thought, they say Donald Trump is stupid or mentally disabled or crazy, and then now they think he's some kind of mastermind with all these coded messages. I read this book. I forget the name of the author. It's about evangelicals, and she was talking about Nixon, and talking about, well, when he's talking about crime, and he's not really talking about crime. It's a dog whistle. It's like, what? Those are actually racist sentiments. It's like dog whistles. What are you guys talking about? Just totally unhinged. It says, as Poster notes, the use of cast out by former president, where he also promised we will demolish the deep state, we will expel the warmongers from our government, we will drive out the globalists. Isn't that good to cast out warmongers? I mean, if we're going to fight a war, it should be for serious national security purposes, not just to waste lives, right? Did Jesus say, "Blessed are the peacemakers"? Globalists. What does that mean? People that don't recognize the right of states to control their own destinies, but to have a global elite impose power and control the world. One world, new world order. It says these things have special meaning for far right Christians who want to take. These guys are so stupid. Yes, he has special meaning to far right Christians who want to take over the American government. We don't want to take over. These guys are insane. A takeover of the U.S. government? These people just live in some kind of weird fantasy world. I mean, the fact of the matter is we're American citizens, and you're threatening our rights, and we don't want to have our rights, and we just want to have equal right under law. You're trying to take away our freedom of speech and freedom of religion, so of course, we want to have representative government, but I mean, the idea that we want to take over government, they're the ones that own government. I mean, they control everything. They try to destroy Twitter because they don't control that anymore. I mean, these are totalitarian statists that want to crush all dissent, and here they are trying to incite fear of evangelicals, inciting fear and hatred. This woman, Posner, is wicked. In her column, Posner wrote that cast out is commonly used by evangelicals, Pentecostals, and other and charismatic Christians describe the exorcism of demons. Not necessarily. How would she know? I mean, this woman's got her head so far. I mean, she lives in fantasy world, unhinged. I mean, this is absurd. It's almost funny. That could be that could be in a personal situation, say, to cast out the demon of homosexuality. So they're trying to say that you evangelicals are homophobes, blah blah blah, from a family member. So yeah, we hate our own family if we don't. These people are just wicked and sick. Or on a bigger scale, to cast out demons, the former political adversaries from Washington. I guess they're admitting that there are adversaries, right? The Democrats, according to Posner, they are. I mean, she's writing this article saying that there are adversaries, our political adversaries, because they set themselves up against us, right? I mean, she went on to note that when Trump talks about opposing communist, Marxists, and fascists, he's actually talking about Democrats. Well, that's true. That's because that's what they are. That's what the modern Democrat Party is, and they're anti-Semitic. I never would I believed that in the 21st century, in 2023, that we would see Democrats just openly and brazenly espousing anti-Semitism as they are in their support of Hamas. It's crazy, but that's how wicked and evil the Democrat Party is. Conspiracy theories about the Democrats' supposed secret communist ties. I mean, what is Bernie Sanders? I mean, you stole the election from him, or the primaries from him, but I mean, the guys are out and out communist. Conspiracy theories about Democrats' supposed secret communist ties abound on the Christian right. What we watch, you guys, I mean, where do you think we get it from? David Noble, a leading figure, I never heard of this dude before, in developing curricula to teach evangelicals about the supposed clash between a, quote, Christian worldview and, quote, secular humanism and, quote, Marxist-Leninism. Posner explained before adding Trump jumping on that bandwagon could, okay, let me read that again. Posner explained that before Trump jumping on that bandwagon could lead the Christians to a terrifying future. Well, the issue about a Christian, it's about, I mean, we believe the Bible, right? We have a biblical Christian worldview. And what are they trying to do to the public school system? And through all these woke movies, they're trying to inculcate in our kids. They're trying to poison the minds of our young people against they're the ones who are trying to turn kids against their parents and families, because they want our children. They want to turn them against our beliefs, our most cherished beliefs. They don't do this they are starting to do it to Muslims. That's why we see in Detroit, Muslims starting to rise up against woke curricula in their public schools. But they're mostly anti-Christian, specifically anti-evangelical Christian. David Noble. I'm going to have to look at that and see what she's talking about. But obviously there is a clash. I mean, if we have freedom of speech and we were respected, and we didn't have all these hateful articles all over the place, then maybe we wouldn't be concerned about these issues. But it's a legitimate concern. Of course, this Raw Story site, there's all these unhinged leftist sites like Raw Story and so-called Business Insider, that are they're hate groups. When it comes down to it, they're hate groups. It says, while Trump has in past used similar language to last week's Truth Social post, this one came amid growing awareness that Trump is unequivocally saying that if he gets a second term, he will rule as a fascist. Well, you're the guys that are fascists. He's going to rule as a fascist. What he's going to do is he's going to protect our constitutional republic from the likes of you. That's what he's going to do. She maintained before warning Trump's continued support from white evangelicals shows how much they share his zeal. Oh my goodness. This is not a news story. This is inflammatory rhetoric and hatred. Whew, this woman's a radical. She maintained before warning Trump's continued support from white evangelicals shows how much they share his zeal to destroy democracy. I don't want to destroy democracy. I want to protect democracy. Look, it's a free country. You guys can do and say whatever you want, but I should be able to do and say what I want to say. You're always attacking our beliefs and our freedom to, practice our religion and share our views. I mean, and not only, if that's not bad enough, it's the FBI, according to Twitter files, that's, attacking us. And we're the ones devoted to the Constitution. Right now, evangelicals are way more tolerant than people on the left. They're we see it right here, just fueled by hatred. It's like, well, why are these evangelicals supporting? Because we read articles like this. And we recognize this is a threat. This is a threat to our safety, our securities, our freedom to have prominent people inciting such hate. I'm saying we're going to destroy democracy. You're the guy that's destroying democracy. To them, Trump is not a menace but a messiah. That's not true. He's fighting for us. That's what we want. Look how Democrats fight like hell for Marxism, and they goose step in lockstep. And but nobody wants to stand for our Constitution, protect our way of life, the values we hold dear, which are just traditional, wholesome values, and the freedoms that are promised in our Constitution. We have to deal with the mainstream media inciting this level of unhinged, radical hatred. It says, to them, Trump is not a menace but a messiah, which tells us a lot about what they think the God-ordained Christian nation should look like. You want to know what most evangelical Christians think, it's a God-ordained Christian nation. They long for the 80s and Ronald Reagan, and everybody is prosperous and, everybody's doing well. We want the best for everybody. Jesus commands us to love all people, and even our enemies. But we have to recognize threats. This woman this supposed news site is this is far more dangerous than Trump's going to come and go eventually. But this level of hatred and rhetoric is dangerous. It's been around a long time, and that they would publish this maniac Sarah Posner's material. I'll look at. I guess they're trying to demonize David Noble. I'll have to look at it and see what he's doing. Well, you guys develop your, 1619 project. If you guys can develop curriculum to teach hatred and division and make, teach black people to hate white people and white people to hate black people and instead of bringing everybody together, if you can bring your divisive and hateful curriculums, why shouldn't we develop ours to create love and respect and maintain our beliefs? So anyway, every day, we get like 12 articles published on, so imagine people that aren't able to engage in critical thinking. And I think people aren't buying the narrative anymore. They realize that the power and influence, the news media, the left-wing news media is starting to wane. It's just, people are just dismissive of it. And, they understand what's going on, with the economy. They remember how things were under Trump. What was going on when Trump was president? We're doing well. Of course, the news media is, Stormy Daniels, Stormy Daniels, Stormy Daniels. If Stormy Daniels was the least we had to worry about, or the most we had to worry about, that's great, compared to what's going on now. Crime and economic collapse and open border and 100,000 boys and girls dying of fentanyl overdose every year. Homeless encampments all over the place. High energy costs, people not being able to, everybody on debt. I'd rather worry about, have these people going, losing their minds on about Stormy Daniels every day. Go to work every day. Stormy Daniels this, Stormy Daniels that, Stormy Daniels. These people are, they're nuts. They're dangerous. They're dangerous because they hold power. For now, hopefully we'll defeat these people, and this is people just dismiss this, and it's not sustainable, and realize how dangerous these radical, evil people are, like Rachel Maddow and this Sarah Posner, very, very dangerous people, and we got to expose them. Like I remember, it's one thing I want to close with this. It's like you have all these organizations, Right Wing Watch, the Southern Poverty, whatever, these unhinged, dangerous leftists, and it's like. It's like, well, why don't, they spend a lot of power going after us. Why don't we go? Because we don't care to. It's a free country. If these people want to live in their little fantasy world like this. But the fact of the matter is we should take it seriously because it's dangerous. It's dangerous. These people are dangerous. And they have to be defeated so we can maintain freedom because they're the ones that are the fascists. They're the ones that are a threat to our power. They're the ones that are, engaging in hatred and divisiveness. And let's get Trump in there and crush these people so we can have a safe and tolerant, prosperous society that's better for everybody. And get these unhinged leftists that want to, destroy. They want to destroy our government, our Constitution, and have a. If they had goodwill towards people, they would be publishing articles like this, would they? If this motivates them, imagine if they gain ultimate power, what they'll do to us with this level of hatred. It's scary. It's scary that these people have such a voice and such power. So we have to defeat these people for the sake of freedom and tolerance and our constitutional system.